All right. Good morning, everybody. I did not watch this yesterday because it aired while we were in the middle or right after our watch party for the Assassin's Creed Black Flag event. But Ali dropped this in the Discord. So we're going to start the morning by watching the developer update live stream for Diablo 4, Lord of Hatred, and then we're going to roll right into playing some Diablo 4 this morning. Haven't played in a couple of weeks. My Paladin got finished with the story campaign for the base game and Vessel of Hatred, and we're just going to hop on the Paladin and do some stuff this morning after we watch this developer live stream, and then we're going to be prepped and ready to go for, uh, is it Tuesday? I guess you got to check the calendar really quick. I never know what days are what. Yeah, Tuesday. At which point I'm going to have to completely respec my Paladin. And yeah, be ready to dive into the new DLC and season of content. So let's check this out first. This is the live stream from yesterday. I have a Paladin I've been playing the past. Oh, this is the most recent character I created like 2 months ago. So I'll probably, it just depends. I need to wait and see. If I can start a Warlock and just play the new content, I will probably start a Warlock. But if I need a character that's already leveled up through the story, then I have my Paladin ready to go.
Hey everyone, and welcome to the Lord of Hatred developer update stream. We've got a jam-packed show for you today, but the first thing you saw is a limited series collaboration between Jackson Guitars and Diablo. Jackson Guitars created a guitar to celebrate the launch of the Lord of Hatred expansion, and we've got one in the studio here with us today. This thing is absolutely badass, and that song you heard performed just now, it's called Celestia. It was written by senior composer Ted Reedy and performed by Cole Rowland. And if anyone can recognize where that video was shot, it's actually our original broadcasting room, so a fun little trivia for you. But yeah, this thing is magnificent. And that song, Celestia, is actually from our unreleased Lord of Hatred soundtrack, which you can pre-save on streaming platforms now.
Nice.
We have a jam-packed show for you today, but first things first, we have a Twitch Drops reminder. So you can watch for 30 minutes and get the Decaying Corona staff. And you can watch for 1 hour to get the Double Trouble Sword cosmetic on any eligible channel in the Diablo 4 category on Twitch. We've got an FAQ for you on the dev stream now.
That would have been yesterday. I doubt those are live today,
until
by the
11
way.
a.m. tomorrow, PDT, so you got about an hour to get those Twitch drops. We did release the intro cinematic for the Lord of Hatred expansion. You know us, we're Blizzard, we love our cinematics, and this one does not disappoint.
No.
It really tees off the expansion and sets the tone.
I have not seen the cinematic yet, so we
Lord
might need to watch the cinematic
I do want to
too
give a
this
spoiler
morning.
warning. There are some light spoilers in the cinematic, so steer clear if you want an unblemished experience, but I gotta say that cinematic is gonna give me some nightmares in the best kind of way, so go and enjoy. We've got a jam-packed stream for you today. There's everything you might want to know about the Lord of Hatred.
We'll have to go watch the
expansion,
DLC too today.
that we're going to get into. So we got a pretty lengthy
trailer.
video ready. I hope you get comfortable, get your snacks, get a drink, and enjoy.
Welcome to the Diablo Developer Update. With Lord of Hatred nearly upon us, we're here today to share a slate of exciting new updates. Before we dive in, we want to take a moment to thank our community for every piece of feedback, every post, every guide and critique video, and every moment you've spent with us in Sanctuary. We wouldn't be here without you. Lord of Hatred was made for this community. Now, join us as we dive into the story,
Hey, stop
classes,
it. You can't
core
go out,
progression,
sweetheart. The rest of
and
the cats are in
key
the house.
systems. Let's jump right in. Lord of Hatred continues after the events in Nahantu. As we see with Neyrelle, no mortal was meant to carry the burden of a prime evil, and doing so leaves permanent scars. Neyrelle's journey transformed her, from her beginnings as a seeker of knowledge, to bearing the Soul Stone, and now to this final confrontation with Mephisto. Neyrelle grew from someone who admired the Horadric to one who embodied their ideals. Neyrelle's tireless research has borne fruit, and she takes action with the decisive, selfless conviction that defines any true Horadric. Now, there's a question that generations of Horadric have been pondering throughout their history. What is the point of killing a primeval if they always come back a generation later, after the last Horadric have grown old, and there are none ready and able to take a stand against them? That dilemma,
What's up,
the
Sushi?
cycle of the
Thanks for
eternal
the
conflict,
resub over on
sits
Twitch.
at the heart of Neyrelle's
4
research
months in a row.
and pushes the story into its next phase. Knowing her time was running short, Neyrelle sent warnings to the few people she trusts, including Lorath Nar. As we march towards the reckoning, one thing becomes clear. Mephisto's plan is simple and terrifying. With the body of Akarat as a puppet, Mephisto has positioned himself and his pawns to be in the right place at the right time, and with the whole world watching. This sets the stage for our journey to the Scovos Isles, and our confrontation with Mephisto, the Lord of Hatred, and it's only the beginning.
With Lord of Hatred, 2 new classes join the fight, the Paladin and the Warlock. They're designed to be instantly recognizable in both
We've been playing the
fantasy
Paladin the
and
past couple of
moment-to-moment
months.
gameplay.
It's pretty awesome.
New tools, new strengths, and new ways to approach every activity across Sanctuary. Both classes have been built with today's meta in mind, bringing fresh answers to familiar challenges, new build paths to explore, and new roles to master across every system Diablo 4 has to offer.
The Talisman system is about giving you another way to express a build, giving you more room to specialize, items to hunt for, and more reasons to keep experimenting as you climb into the endgame. You'll see talismans built from a few key parts: your seal, your charms, and the combinations you create between them. The intent is simple: make the choices readable and make the results feel immediately different in combat. You'll find both seals and charms naturally as you play, across a range of rarities. Seals are the foundation. They unlock additional charm slots, roll bonus affixes, and in some cases they can even change the rules for what charms you're allowed to equip.
Interesting.
At the top end, unique and set charms are the most powerful. These are the drops that you'll be chasing deep into the endgame. Unique charms pull signature powers from the unique items you know today, so that you can harness that effect without being locked into a specific gear slot.
Yeah, we'll watch the trailer here in a
Set
bit
charms
after
work
we
a little
finish with
differently.
this.
As you
Before we
collect
go
and
play.
equip more pieces from the same set, you'll unlock increasingly powerful set bonuses. Before Torment, set bonuses are more general, class agnostic, easy to understand, and meant to give you a serious boost while you're leveling. In Torment, sets become class specific, harder to find, and built to deliver a bold fantasy, unlocking new archetypes and defining playstyles. The Horadric Cube is a legendary artifact for endgame crafting. Combine rare materials, transmute them into something greater, and unlock powerful bonuses to fine-tune your build. More than a tool, it opens new ways to upgrade gear, experiment with options, and push towards true endgame power. Horadric Cube crafting is deliberate and impactful. You can take an item, add affixes through transmutation, and then upgrade it through the rarity tiers, up to legendary. Want to turn a great drop into a best in slot? Transfiguration is the way to ultimately finish an item. Layering on a range of powerful effects with a chance you'll be able to transfigure the same piece multiple times. You'll also choose how you transfigure. Standard transfiguration is chaotic. The potential for reward is high, but there is some risk. There's even a low chance that you'll be able to transfigure the same piece multiple times. Applying an entropic tuning prism makes your crafting outcome more stable. This will reduce the reward ceiling, but it always delivers a clean upgrade. Perfect for items that are already incredible. For amulets, we have something special. The cube has an amulet-only transfiguration that can grant you a bonus legendary power, and you can re-roll it as long as you have the rare material to pay the cost. We love the variety and craziness of adding an extra legendary power onto high-end gear, legendaries, uniques, and even mythic items. So we've distilled that fantasy into a dedicated recipe you can use specifically on your amulet. Sometimes the best way forward is sacrifice. You'll now be able to break down an ancestral unique to create a unique charm. The latest skill tree updates are here to give you clearer,
brand new
meaningful
skill
choices
trees
as you build, so that experimenting feels rewarding and the path from idea to fully realized build is easier to plan and more fun to iterate on. Itemization is the other half of the equation. With these system-wide updates, your item choices can meaningfully amplify a build, and they're designed to work in concert with everything else. Changes to legendary aspects, uniques, skill tree options, class mechanics, and more all support one goal, giving you the freedom to play your way. Let's look at a few examples. What is better than kicking your enemies away? How about kicking yourself to your enemies? Kick's Madness variant lets you fly around the battlefield by turning Kick into a mobility skill. Barbarians now have a variety of ancient skill
the
variants
jump looks pretty
that
cool in
summon
the
a temporary
Barbarian.
ancient to mimic your attack. Leap into combat with 3 ancients, then finish them off with a trio of ruptures. Druids can now choose their skills' shapeshift forms, and each form comes with powerful bonuses. Human form grants more resources, werewolf form grants more offensive power, while werebear form improves your survivability.
I loved my druid when I played that during season 1.
Trample's variant leaves sundered rock along your path and a large burst at your target. Trample can now be used as a werewolf, and rather than charging along the ground, you quickly leap to your target. Druids can now unleash the Fury of the Wilds. This unique ring causes your shape-shifting skills to grant berserking and ferocity, bringing these powerful mechanics from the Barbarian and Spiritborn to the Druid. You can take it a step further by synergizing Fury of the Wilds with the additional strikes upgrade for Lightning Storm, increasing the number of lightning strikes for each ferocity you have.
Nice.
Necromancers can now customize and upgrade their minions via the skill tree. Skeleton mages are now a core skill, costing essence to initially raise, but lasting indefinitely. Use the Singularity variant to instead focus all of your essence into a single, powerful, but short-lived mage. Skeleton warriors are passively raised from nearby corpses, and activating their ability commands them to instantly attack a targeted enemy. The Book of the Dead now also enhances your minions with the powers of Bone, Blood, or Darkness, allowing them to interact with a wider variety of legendary and unique effects, such as Aspect of the Void. With the Cthulhu's Righteous Will Talisman set bonus, your enemies will cower before you, immediately being feared for a short time when they see you. You also reflect stun and knockback effects at those foolish enough to try to control you.
Interesting.
Paladins can unlock ultimate power with the Light's Epiphany Talisman set.
That looks
Using
cool.
the Arbiter of Light unleashes Heaven's Fury and Fortress and allows you to cast Zenith for a short time.
Hell yeah. My
Dance
very
of
first
Knives
OG
is now
character
core
was a
skill,
rogue.
costing energy per second to channel. If you aren't a fan of knives and want something with a bit more
I did the
bang,
archer build.
try the Grenade Jumper variant to throw a constant stream of explosive grenades instead. Rogues
Grenades
also
and
have
arrows.
new ways to manipulate the shadows. The penetrating shot variant Shadow Shot spawns shades to mimic your attack, and Shadow Clone's Sentry variant places stationary shadow clones to constantly fire upon your enemies. As the masters of fire, cold, and lightning, the
Also have a
sorceress
sorcerer build.
weaves these elements
My
together
ice
in
sorcerer.
their new skill variants. Charged Bolts Burn Through variant causes the bolts to release globs of fire on impact.
I have a
rather
rogue, a
than
sorcerer,
piercing
a
through
druid.
enemies. This variant excels in
my
up
paladin.
close and personal combat against many tightly packed enemies. Familiar is the only skill in the game with 4 variants. The first 3 allow you to choose which element your familiar will always be and gain unique benefits. If you want all 3 elements, the Prismatic Familiar option is for you, causing each of your spellcasts to trigger an explosion of the matching element from your familiar.
Oh, I do have a Spiritborn too. I forgot
Crackling
about that. I
Perk
created one
converts
for the
Concussive Stomp
DLC.
to an Eagle skill, removing the gorilla-themed crowd control
Whenever it came out
effect,
a year and a half ago,
instead
2 years ago.
dealing lightning damage and creating storm feathers for each enemy hit. This synergizes extremely well with Aspect of Falling Feathers to absolutely shred a group of enemies. With its new variant, the Protector.
I actually
guards
didn't
the
care for the
infected
Spiritborn
forest.
too much when I
The
played it. I played it
Centipede
through the
Spirit
last
assists by
DLC.
poisoning
It was
the area
okay.
around the
It
Protector,
didn't, but it
weakening
didn't like
enemies and constantly spewing
pull me in.
pestilence
Like the
swarms.
rogue was good.
The Warlock arrives as a
Ice
brand
Sorcerer
new
was
class
really
in
good.
Lord of Hatred.
My
This
Werebear
master
Druid
of
was
the occult
awesome. With
binds
like the
demons to their will
no,
and
those are
unleashes
mine. You do
devastating
not do
hellfire
that. Get off
across
my
the
desk.
battlefield.
Get
The
off my
Warlock
desk,
has a
sweetheart.
dual resource system. Your basic skills, like Doom,
Those are my
generate
ear
Wrath. Your
plugs.
core skills, like Hell Fracture, spend Wrath to unleash a powerful attack. Dominance is much slower to regenerate and is used for your greater demon summoning abilities, like Infernal Breath that spews fire at nearby enemies. To unleash ultimate destruction, channel the Armageddon ritual variant of Apocalypse, calling down a relentless storm of fire and brimstone on the battlefield.
That looks awesome.
Endgame in Diablo 4 should feel continuous. No stopping, no waiting, no friction between what you want to do and how you want to do it. The fight to defend Sanctuary continues in our new endgame system, War Plans. Choose your favorite activities, chain them together, and then customize the hell out of them. You start at the command table in Temis, the capital city of Skovos. You pick your activities with almost everything on the menu. As you make progress, your command table levels up, opening up a wider range of options, including higher node rarities and deeper chains, with up to 5
Stop
activities
trying to
in a
grab
single
my
war plan.
my earplugs,
War
sweetie.
plans
You have your
also
lizard on
grant
the floor
ability
and
to
you have your
teleport
ball.
directly to the
Go down and
next
play there.
activity in your playlist, and eventually
She
back
jumped
to
on the
Temis
bed and is, like,
to
running
claim
around
your
chasing her
rewards and
tail.
create
Now
a new
she's-
one. And
She
if you
sees
don't
my
have a nightmare
earbuds. I'm gonna
sigil
move
or a
those.
compass,
She sees my
not a problem. War
my
plans can generate one
earplugs.
on the fly.
She's
if you don't
tried
have your
twice
own.
now to get up on the desk and grab them.
War Plans is all about giving you more choice. Want to burn through a stack of sigils? Do
Right.
it. Want to
Right.
hard focus on one lair boss for your session?
Do not
Go
bite
for
me.
it.
Rawr.
War Plans does more than enhance your endgame, it connects it.
Oh, you're a
Completing
monster.
War Plans will also feed into activity trees. Each activity
tell
has its
everybody what a
own
monster you
tree
are as
that
you
you
bite
can
my hand.
invest in to customize how it plays. You
got
earn
the
7
spaz. Are
points
you
per
spazzing?
activity,
Go on,
so
go
this is where
spaz.
you'll have to make real decisions. Let's look at the Lair Boss tree, because it's a great example of how deep this can go. You can tune your rewards with nodes like Lair of Runes for more rune drops, Lair of Plenty for an extra horde chest, Golden Horde to convert low-tier items into gold, or Exotic Armory if you're looking to gear an alt. Then there's cross-pollination, pulling lair bosses into other activities to remix your runs. Grigwar's Gambit can spawn him from Helltide chests. Embers of Anguish brings Andariel into the pit. Out of the Cold allows the Beast in Ice to join every Nightmare Dungeon boss fight. The Pit Tree gives you a completely different kind of control. You can dial up risk and reward with Choron's Haste, Heart of Stone, the Pit Butcher, or modifiers like Damned Thieves. Or you can pivot the rewards entirely, converting glyph upgrades with nodes like Choron's Soul and Choron's Flesh. This is just the tip of the iceberg. There are 100 different modifiers spread across the activities in the game. With War Plans, you get to define your own endgame.
There's a whole bunch of endgame stuff, yep. Fishing?
Fishing is designed as a laid-back collection activity, a chance to slow down and unwind between battles. You'll unlock it early after arriving in Skovos. A short questline will introduce you to the basics, and it'll teach you more about the wide variety of fish with different rarities and multiple modifiers to chase. Fishing is more fun with friends. You can trade any fish you find, no matter how weird, bloody, or celestial they might be, to help your fellow wanderers finish their collections. As for where you can fish, almost anywhere there are fish, and maybe even a few places that might surprise you.
Yeah.
So take a deep breath, enjoy the calm you've earned, and appreciate a quieter
Yes,
moment
cats.
in Sanctuary. But who
Playing
knows
with
what else
everything
lurks
other than the
beneath
toys you
wide
bought
dark
them.
sea. When Lord of Hatred is released, we'll also be making major updates across both seasonal and eternal realms. Permanent updates across realms will include the major skill tree improvements we've discussed, alongside a level cap increase to 70, extending torment tiers, a loot filter, map overlay, pathfinding, plus a
Map
pit
overlay, that's
overhaul
interesting.
and itemization updates. For players on the seasonal realm, there will be character resets.
Do you need to go to
a
the bathroom?
refresh to season rank
Hang on,
challenges.
guys. She
with
is
new
meowing at the
rewards.
door, which she never does, so I think she might need to go out. That was a new one for her. she has never, I don't think she's ever done that. At this hour anyway. She had to go to the bathroom. But she normally goes to the bathroom in the afternoons. But she was like literally jumping up at the doorknob. She'll do that sometimes, like wanting to go out and play. But then she started crying, and I was like, oh, well, that's new. I've never heard you be vocal about it. Sure enough, she had to poop. She like went straight to the litter box. It was like, I'm gonna poo poo. All right, kitty cat stuff done. Let's continue.
And updates to the tower and leaderboard beta, all falling within the Season of Reckoning. This season brings 2 additional season ranks, unlocking over 100 season rank challenges for those who keep climbing through Sanctuary's trials. Push past your limits, conquer fresh objectives, and claim rewards worthy of your growing legend.
I wonder if I'm actually gonna give a shit
With
about
this
Endgame.
update, we're here to make
ever in
more
this game.
affixes matter and make
'Cause
item
I've only
choices
ever played the
contribute
story.
meaningfully to your overall power.
I did
Common,
season 1,
magic,
and that was
and
as
rare
far as
items
I ever
contain
went.
meaningful value
We did
in
some Nightmare
Endgame
Dungeons.
because they can serve as
I played
crafting
multiplayer.
bases. You can later
and then
add
was like,
affixes to them and upgrade their
But I
rarity
do love the
using
story
the
of these
Horadric
games,
cube.
and I like playing
They
through
will
the
continue
campaign
to
stuff.
drop in torment difficulties, including as ancestral
But I've never
items.
cared
And they
enough
can
about
also roll
Endgame
with greater affixes.
to play it.
With this update,
There's no
auto
story
salvaging
in it.
of lower rarity items in Torment has been disabled. Something we're excited about is damage multipliers on gear. Gone are the days of tossing out items with additive damage. Damage multipliers stack additively with themselves, but are multiplicative, vastly leveling up the item game and depth when it comes to the perfect item. For uniques, we're opening things up by reducing the number of always fixed
Hey,
affixes
stop
and
that.
rolling more from the available pool,
Where did your ball
giving you
go?
room to chase truly optimized combinations for your build.
That sword looks badass.
Tempered affixes went through an overhaul. Unique and mythic
Leave my
items can
notebook
now be
alone.
tempered. 200 legendary aspects have been refreshed with design updates. Gems are getting a major upgrade. Weapon gem effects are significantly stronger, and we're including new gem tiers. We've heard your feedback on stackable items, and we've increased the stacking size to 1,000 to help
Woot!
with inventory management.
Hell yeah. All right,
On
quality
the
of life.
quality of life side, one of the biggest additions is the loot filter.
I like
This
loot
is a
filters.
power user feature the community has been asking for a long time. You can export and import filters, hide item text, hide ground effects, hide both.
Oh,
or recolor
hiding
text
ground
to make
effects
the
would be
drops
cool
that
to
matter
just get rid of all
instantly
the
stand
trash
out.
shit.
Hunting for the perfect 4 out of 4 base,
my God,
you
would
can
you
call
stop
out the affixes you care about and set a minimum number required. So those upgrade-ready items pop while the noise fades away. Loot filters will also support newly introduced systems such as the Talisman. The map overlay is here,
Yeah, map
and it
overlay.
completely changes how combat and moment-to-moment flow feels in
That'll be
Diablo 4.
nice.
When
I
the
won't use
overlay
it
is
all the
up,
time, but there have
the
been times
minimap
when I've
gets
wanted
out of the way to
map
broaden your view
overlay.
of the game space. And you've got quick controls to tune it on the fly.
Thank you.
Keybinds for opacity, keybinds for zoom, and options to adjust the coloration of the overlay to match your
Ooh, I like
preference.
that. The coloration
For
is
those
cool.
looking to continue with a smooth flow, you can enable pathfinding, which draws your route through Sanctuary directly to your destination. You'll no longer need
That's-
to stare at your minimap to make sure you're headed the right way.
I literally.
The level cap
Hold
has
up, I gotta
increased-
pause. This cat is being a just monster this morning. I was just complaining about that the other day because I was saying one of the things I had to get used to with my glasses was when I was playing Diablo 4, when you're on your mount specifically and you're running fast through the terrain, but you're trying to pay attention to the mini map while also so you're splitting. It's like almost you almost need to be not cross-eyed, but wall-eyed is like there, but you have to actually it's almost like you're splitting your eyes like this to try to watch the mini map and the game at the same time. That Pathfinder feature is freaking awesome. I like that one.
expanding the ceiling for long-term progression. Torment tiers are being refined as well to support a consistent feel as you progress further, and to match, the rewards track better with the risk you're taking.
We've made important improvements to layer bosses, focused on clarity, choice, and cleaner loot chasing. Every layer boss now has its own dedicated pool of unique items. Layer bosses now share a single key, and all greater layer bosses share another, reducing friction and inventory space. Bartok and Astaroth are now in the layer boss system, and the Butcher is now a greater layer boss in both seasonal and eternal realms.
Fresh meat.
Lord Zir is now only one click away on the world map. We've made updates to runes to reduce friction and make progression smoother. The result is a more streamlined system and an indirect buff to farming the specific runes you care about. The rune pool has been updated and we've removed underutilized runes. All remaining runes now fit cleanly into the Socketable's inventory. Runes have also been heavily integrated into our Horadric Cube crafting system.
Pit improvements are here, along with tuning and quality of life updates to make each run more exciting and more rewarding. Some of the improvements you've seen in the tower are coming to the pit, and we've also removed a few legacy systems along the way. The pit has grown, literally. Every run now spans 5 full floors, clearly marked by pit depth, so you always know how deep
I've never
you've
done the
gone
pit.
and how close you are to the finish.
Might have
Floor
to try this
generation
out.
has been rebuilt from the ground up for smoother flow, less frustrating dead ends, and a more consistent rhythm that keeps you moving forward. Nearly every environment in the game can now appear in the pit, pulling from both expansions and past seasons. And there are rare floors where you'll stumble onto brand new layout mashups found nowhere else. To keep the focus on action, we've also removed death and resurrection penalties along with boss shadow attacks. Spawning in the pit has been tuned to feel fair, deadly, and exciting. Shrines now use a flat spawn chance, giving each run a more consistent baseline, while still allowing for the occasional lucky spike. Almost every variant of every monster family can now appear, including very rare and special populations. Progress now scales with real danger, meaning tougher enemies push the bar faster. And yes, treasure goblins can now invade the pit, alone or with all their friends, with bosses, goblins, and treasure chests all capable of dropping loot. Pit mastery objectives are now fully formalized, with the tracker clearly showing both party and personal progress. Boss encounters waste no time. Bosses now ambush your party by spawning directly on top of you, and without clearing existing enemies. On top of that, the pit will now pull from the tower boss roster, injecting even more variety and unpredictability into every run. Since we introduced the tower and leaderboards, it's been incredible to listen to your feedback, watch the competition evolve, and keep learning right alongside the community. Now we're bringing a focused set of updates, more reasons to climb, clearer ways to compete, and smoother moment-to-moment play. The Artificer's Stash is a new feature coming to the tower. This provides valuable caches that contain items with guaranteed greater affixes, along with currencies and even lore books. These treasures can only be earned by climbing the tower, and first-time completion of higher tower tiers awards the Artificer's favor. The new build viewer captures a snapshot of every build that ranks on the leaderboard.
Interesting.
When you click a top player's leaderboard entry, the viewer displays that saved snapshot, making it easier
so you
for
can check their
everyone
build and
to see
everything.
which builds are performing best in tower competition. New environments, monsters, and bosses are arriving to keep the tower experience fresh. In addition to starting a tower run when you exit the circle, your run will now automatically begin after a brief countdown. And hey, did you mess up the run? Did you just barely make it? Did the Orb Goblin run away? Is that the best you got? The Artificer himself will now offer some commentary. Please try your best. He is watching. Lastly, we're making tower competition timing better and fairer. Based on player feedback, leaderboards now start on Thursdays after a release or patch. This permits the time needed to address any major issues before the community-wide competitive aspect of the tower begins. That's a quick look at what's ahead with Lord of Hatred and Season of Reckoning. We'll have more details in our blogs, patch notes, and deep dives. So if something here caught your eye, you'll be able to dig in right away. See you all in Sanctuary. Welcome.
April 28th,
Whew, okay,
What's
that is
the
a
next
lot
part?
to chew on. As Alvin mentioned at the end of that video, we will have our official blog launching after the stream, so you can go and check that out if there's extra details you want to chew on. But additionally, we will have Q&A towards the end of the stream, so if you have
It looks like they're gonna be doing like the next part is like Q&A, which I'm not really that interested in. What I am interested in is going and watching the trailer, which I know somebody dropped in our Discord. So hang on a second, I gotta go find it. That's the developer live stream. I gotta find where it got dropped. I don't think it is there. It's not in the reaction channel. Here it is. Looks like Vanessa dropped this in the other channel, in the gaming channel. So this is the launch trailer.
Those who touch the stone meet the same fate.
No! No! I need more time! I just need more time.
Time. Nothing in those scrolls will save you, Neyrel. But I can.
I want nothing from you.
You've seen what awaits. You are a part of me. But I can make better use of you.
I have seen what awaits. I will stop you!
I am untouchable.
You think you have power here.
I could do this for an eternity, Neyrel. I don't see that you have a choice, but I'd like you to say yes.
You're right. I am a part of you. I was trapped in your mind. You dream. And when you do, an ocean of twisted horrors floods your mind. I saw the sun blotted from the sky. And the darker it got, the brighter the rage of man burned. Hatred would reign. I was lost. But in that chaos, I found your greatest fear. And I will tell everyone.
Oh, child. What could I possibly fear?
And the weak were made strong. The pack of lambs would feast on their shepherd.
The prophecy? Oh, be careful, little one.
Then comes a spear of light, piercing hatred's heart.
No.
Razed to the ground by a murdered son.
Stop.
And a daughter.
Stop! I command you! You could have been so much more.
Let them rise up, feeding the flames of unrest. It will not matter.
Yeah,
For
Blizzard
I
makes great
am the
trailers.
light.
Cinematics are great.
And the way.
There's another trailer too.
On this day, a pilgrim comes to our shores. Let him wash in the waters, so that he might prove himself worthy of the sand.
Many of you walked with me to the fires of the mainland. Now, your faith will be rewarded. The pools of creation, the path to a better future, is near.
This looks like an Endgame.
And by the grace of Queen Adriana, we will reach it.
Adriana. Adriana.
Laura? Now? Of all times?
It seems a new pilgrim has joined us.
Listen. He's a demon. The mainland burns because of him.
Lies.
You're in danger.
I don't understand. The people say he's a saint. What proof do you have?
You have my word.
As a Horadrim?
As someone you once called friend.
That will be enough.
Afraid I'll spoil your show? Not at all. I barely knew you existed until today. But now you've stepped onto my stage. And you thought there would be no consequences. You are but a man. And men are just so small.
I think I turn into the queen at his feet.
Laura.
No.
Enough! I have brought blood to this city. Blood and hate. No more.
Welcome back, minion.
You really are what they say.
Show mercy. We must all show mercy. My queen, let him walk free, so that all who look upon him will be reminded of what hate can do. It is in our nature to hate, Lorath. And that is why I've brought you here, to change that nature.
Diablo 4, Lord of Hatred. Available April 28th. Alright, we can close all those windows down. We can open this up. We can open this up. We can open this up. And we'll go play a little bit of Diablo this morning. I haven't played in a couple of weeks. I'm just going to log on for a little bit. No, I play on the Xbox Series X. I did play when Diablo 4 first came out. I played it on the PS4, so I actually own it on the PlayStation Network. But then when it came to Game Pass, when Microsoft bought Blizzard, I switched over to start playing it on the Xbox. I don't know. I have no idea if I'm going to make a new character. I need to wait to see how the story is going to work, because I don't know. They haven't said yet how it's going to work. So I don't know if I could just make a warlock and start directly in the new content, or if I have to have a character who's already gone through the storyline, in which case I have my paladin who has already gone through the story, and I will do that. So I don't know yet. To go to no, I don't care about masterwork because that's all going to get redone. Excuse me. This is like post-story stuff, which I haven't touched on yet. Reclaiming rewards for the reliquaries. Excuse me. I have 8 points left I could spend. Okay. It's a different type of town portal. That's kind of cool. Ooh, there's a mount I can... Oh. Or mount armor. Nah. I'm torn. I have 8 points I can spend. I like that portal, but I also like the horse armor. I think I'll roll with the armor. Nah, I have no desire to go back and replay Diablo 2. more points left. I might as well grab. Yeah, I only have 200 points to spend, right? Yeah. Only 3 days left anyway. Man, I can't wait for the Pathfinder feature. That's really cool.
Hail, wanderer. Laid before you is the bounty of history.
Pets. Oops.
Traveler, let us continue.
That's the Ultimate Edition. Deluxe upgrade. Nah, I don't need any of those. We have people who like applied to the guild forever ago. Okay. That's the old helm. I need to travel to the den really quick.
This shield you forged.
I could teach you how to forge your own shield, little
I'd rather you just gave me that one.
Ward of the White Dove. See, I kept all these things from earlier. By the way, why is this flashing at me? I have all these gems I can do stuff with. I don't have any problem playing on a controller. That's all I ever play with. I don't play games on mouse and keyboard. Okay. Why is that flashing at me? As if there's something... Oh, it's warning me that seasonally migrated things are going to expire. Okay, I was like, why are you flashing? That makes sense. Okay. I don't have any more I could do here. What I don't remember is, where do I... I know I need to go to a,
I will not let you down.
Oh yeah, that sounds cool. Decisions. Yeah, let's just do that. Any skill in combat. I almost think this one sounds better because of the wings ability. Okay, done there. Kitty cat. This thing is nasty. I'll never use this, but I claimed it this morning. I like my kitty cat. But I also have the puppy dog. We're keeping my kitty cat. That's pretty dope. These are all part of the pre-orders. That's dope. All right. That's the new one. Let's see here. I don't remember how I got the cat, to be honest with you. I kind of do like the look of that. Yeah, that's a really cool looking sword, man. All right. I'm going to grab another cup of coffee because we've been going for about an hour and I've only had one cup. I'll be right back. go back to your bed. You can't be on my desk. Oh, I don't know what you think. You're not getting those cookies. You're not getting any cookies. No, those are not cookies for kitty cats. I know. Not cookies for kitties. She says, come on, Dad. I want some cookies. You're not getting cookies. Go on. Go back to your bed. My poor wife is so sick. Our grandniece goes home today for the weekend. She might go to the doctor today. We'll see. She still thinks it's just a cold because she doesn't have a fever. She doesn't have any sort of like infection signs. It's just sore throat, coughing, and she's completely congested here. But so it's all from here up. But she's been sick since Sunday. So today's day 5 of like her throat hurts and she's just coughing and completely stuffed up. I've been stuffy all week. I don't know if I'm like fending it off or what's going on. Our grandniece has been coughing like for 3 weeks now. The rest of Christina's family has all been sick for like 2 weeks with the cough. Yeah, she's been taking like these flu cold pills every day because of the sore throat. And it's just like, that is not like a normal cold. Like a normal cold is, sore throat 2 days. You might have stuffy nose for a couple of weeks maybe. Maybe a cough for a couple of weeks, but sore throat for more than a couple of days is like... But she's like, she doesn't have a fever. It's not like there's an infection going on. So she's reluctant to go to the doctor because she's like, what are they going to do? Just give me cough syrup? It's like, well, I mean, I don't know. I'm a big baby. I'll go to the doctor after like, if I'm not feeling better after 2-3 days, I'm like, give me some meds. Knock on wood, I still haven't fallen completely by the wayside. I am super stuffy this morning though. So we'll see how it goes. But I have been taking, like I have been doing triple doses of like all my vitamins. Like I take my multivitamin in the morning. I've got some other stuff. I take magnesium and some other stuff. And then I'm eating way more like vitamin C fruits than I normally would eat. I'm eating like twice a day. I'm eating like fruits with vitamin C. And then I'm also taking it in the afternoons like the fizzy tablets that you can drop in water that are like super whammy zinc and vitamin C and all sorts of other stuff. Yeah, it could be a sinus infection, but I mean everybody has it. Like her whole family's been sick. And it started at school, so kids bring home fun germs. So we'll see. Don't know if she's going to go to the doctor today or not. Alright, we should be able to get going here. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm probably just going to putter around with some of this post-campaign stuff for a little bit. I love how when I post a review on of Starfield on my channel, every single time I post a review, I just get people in chat who just want to rant about their technical issues. And it's like, I'm not tech support. And it's always a user who doesn't have an actual username. It's just someone who says, this game sucks because of this reason. And then it's a weird name with like 20 different numbers and letters in it, and it's like you're just fucking troll accounts. I have been to the Helltides, but not in this season. I did when the game first launched. I did my character, which is a rogue, and then I immediately turned around and did a druid, and I played co-op with our friend Gila. I haven't played games with him in a while, but we used to play together when I was first getting going. We played Aliens Fireteam Elite or Firestrike Elite, whatever it's called. We did Diablo 4 together. So I did all the seasonal content during Season 1. I have not done any seasonal content since Season 1. It's not really my focus. I play these games for the story. Once I'm done with the story, I literally go away and play other things. Conquer the Stronghold Kitchik. Complete the questline Tenets of Depravity. Complete dungeons in Nahantu. Why not? Let's go like do whatever that is. I haven't played in about 2 weeks. I should go do at least something so that I can remember the button combinations or anything else and get ready for Tuesday. For our grandniece, by the way, she hasn't been to school in 2 days. Chris is like, I'm just gonna have her stay home because she's feeling crappy. Because she's got tons of energy, but she's had a cough for 3 weeks. I think she's up, by the way. Let me go say good morning. Alright, I had to play musical cats. Lucas wanted to come in the room. He's not feeling good. He's on meds, so he has the priority. He came in, jumped on the bed. Blanca was on the bed as well, but in the mini bed. He likes to sleep in the mini bed when she's not in here. He got up and got upset that she was in his mini bed. I gotta get more beds, man. I just need to buy one. Chris doesn't like me to spend money, but I'm like, whatever. I'm gonna go buy a couple cat beds, I think. Anyway, he attacks her often, so she gets all defensive, and he jumped a bit, and she totally hissed at him, and like jumped out of the bed and was like getting ready to attack him. And I'm like, no, he's on meds right now. You don't get to do that. So I put her outside. her office time is cut short this morning. Cat drama. All right. What is this right here? Complete quest line. Conquer the Stronghold. Let's go conquer this Stronghold. Cat drama. I'm telling you, that Pathfinder functionality they showed off this morning in that video. Oh, can I not get there from here? I gotta go all the way around. Is there no other way to get there? Not from where I've been. Oh, I forgot about my new horse armor too. I think I have to go to a stable master to equip that. There it is. Yeah, that's from my original pre-order. This is the new stuff I just got. Oh, that's... I think I like the mark. The head's a little too much. The mark is cool. Alright, that looks dope. Yeah, I like that. That's cool. Oh, no. See, this is what I'm talking about, like trying to split your time between the mini-map and the actual map. I can't wait for that pathfinding feature. That's gonna be great. Claim this stronghold. Yep, 4 more days, folks. 4 more days. We'll play a little bit today. But we'll reserve most of our energy for Tuesday. I don't know if they've published their global launch times yet.
These people are being slaughtered.
Not for long. Oh, he feared me. Alright, we gotta settle in. I don't know what we'll have to do this stronghold.
regret not killing me.
Wait, where are you going? Don't leave me.
Sturdy boot.
Oh, thank you.
I'm not done yet. I can still fight.
Fight on, good sir.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
As for the survivors, we need to regroup. Count the dead.
I almost ate it. Oh, they have their own hit point features too. I just noticed that. Oh.
Stay back! They're hiding in the caves!
Ooh, that sounded good. What's next?
I don't teach the bastards! Vermin slunk back off into the caves. They're like roaches. They'll breed twice as many if you leave them be.
Okay.
You're strong. Stronger than the rest of us. Could you finish them off?
I could. Alright, we gotta go into the caves. Destroy the pillars to run. Oh, my aura is like naturally destroying the column. That's awesome. Shit, who are you? Come here. Oh, that's a lot. Oh, growl all you want. Come on. Oh, I got caught. Oh shit, there's a timer going down. Oh no! Run! Run! Didn't realize there was a timer. Oh, to duck. Okay, there we go. Find
It's too quiet. Where have the survivors gone?
We are about to find out where they've gone.
Help us!
Oh, I may have burned that too soon. No, I got it. Alright, we got a whole bunch of stuff. Rekindle the shrine. All right. You can't drop links in chat. You'll have to go drop those in the Discord. But it's fine. I'm sure they will publish their global release times on social media at some point, and I can go take a look. I don't think the new war plan things happens until the game goes live, so I have no idea if the new war plans are going to be part of the base game or if part of the DLC only. I have no idea. I went to go give Chris a hug this morning. She's like, "You shouldn't touch me. She said I've been sweating and oozing out of my nose all night, and who knows what germs I have." I was like, "Sweetheart, this whole house is full of germs. It is a miracle that I'm not sick with everybody else. So, shut up and give me a hug." Is this the Lord of Hatred DLC? Sure, sweetheart, sure. Doesn't go live until Tuesday. But yeah, we're playing it. I've got magical, mystical precognition powers that allow me to play DLCs before they launch. Alright, we got a whole bunch of goodies. Most of which I don't care about, but let's take a look here. I don't use shields. I do want the boots, those are way better. Uh-huh. So now that I'm Cap, I got all sorts of new stuff that dropped that's way better. A two-handed axe. Interesting. I've never used a two-handed axe. What does the thing even look like? Hideous is what that looks like. I'll stick to my sword, thank you very much. Oh, but it removed my transmog. Do I have to... guessing I have to go redo my transmog to get it back. Alright. Buddy, are you gonna be okay? You're turning around a lot in your bed. What time is it? His meds are due here in a bit. 6 o'clock. He's still got 45 minutes until his meds. Alright. Yeah, we'll probably play the Warlock in the DLC. Probably, possibly. The Paladin was the character I created, like, I don't know, a couple months back whenever I pre-ordered the DLC. What is there to prep? Myself. There is me playing the game because I want to, refreshing myself to the controls, reminding myself of how things play, making sure I've wrapped up any post-campaign storylines I need to do so that this character is prepped and ready to go to jump into the new content, should I choose to carry this character through into the new content. But I might just start a Warlock from scratch. You never know. But mostly I put that in the chat, in the description text, because it triggers people who are like, but wait, what prep? Everything resets in 3 days. What's the point of playing? Ah. Mostly that's why I use the titles that I use, because it triggers people. And it causes them to click the stream and come to my channel and give me ad revenue. And sometimes they stick around and become valued community members. How excited am I for the Black Flag Resynced? Well, if you had a chance to watch my watch party yesterday, you'll know. And if you didn't watch the watch party yesterday, you can go back to my YouTube channel, go into the VODs playlist, and you can find yesterday's watch party when we sat and watched the entire Black Flag Resynced event together with our community, with about 1,000 other people who were watching with us and had a great time. Paladin is great. I think Paladin is my favorite class so far. I've played the Rogue, the Spirit Caller, the Sorcerer, and the Druid are the 4 that I've been interested in playing over the years. The ones I played right out of the gate were the Rogue and the Druid. And then I played a Sorcerer somewhere, I think around the time the first DLC was dropping. I did a Sorcerer, and then I immediately turned around and did the Spirit Caller when the DLC dropped last time. And then I created this Paladin like 2 months ago, whenever I pre-ordered. Oh no, that's not why they're asking, Vanessa. Trust me, that's not why they're asking. I know the type of people who show up in my chat, and we get a lot of people. But why? What do you mean you're prepping? There's nothing to prep for. Everything changes. Because I get the same people on like Twitter and Instagram and TikTok who will rant and rave that there's no point in playing your character right now. They're just gonna respec all the skills. What's the point in playing your Paladin? There's no point. Everything changes in 4 days. What's there to prep? I have never done anything with these runes. At all. So whenever we go into the new content, I'm going to have this entire thing full of socketables that I'm going to have to sort out with the new system. And figure out what I'm going to do with those. Oh, I've got Paragon points to spend. I forgot. What does that mean? Switch to glyphs. I never did glyphs either. You could do glyphs? Well, shit. What is board selection? Oh, does this change the types of nodes you get to pick? I've never messed around with this. Like, I haven't had a max level character in so long. I don't even know. I just got him to Paragon like a couple weeks ago, and I didn't really pay attention to like board selection. Oh shit, okay. So this is the first board, and then I could move straight to another one. And you can have a total of 5. Oh, and then you would choose to attach it. Rotate, what does that mean? Yeah, I'm gonna have to like do some R&D on this. What's up, Heinrich? Good morning from Malta. I don't have to go to the next board if I don't want to. Like, I could keep spending points in here if I had available points. Something I never noticed though was the glyph thing. Like, what are these? Required legendary upgrade. Oh, you have to find these things, it says. Interesting. Each Paragon board has 2 glyph slots. What's up, Shiny? Okay, what else could I potentially do? It says complete the questline Tenets of Depravity or complete dungeons. What is that over there? Campaign quest. Oh, I need to check what time the pharmacy opens because I am out of multivitamins and I gotta run and get some today. Try to keep fending off. They're open 24 hours? Really? I'll probably just go whenever we go drop off our grannies at school. I will go take a walk and go to the pharmacy. Because it is 6:30 local time. Shiny says, my friend moved to Malta from the UK about 11 years ago. I drove from the UK with him, his car and his dogs. It was an adventure. Dude, that does sound like an awesome adventure. That's an awesome road trip for sure. I'm actually going to go look that up really quick. If I were to drive there from the UK, that is a no brakes, a roughly 38-hour journey with no brakes. But I'm assuming, you know, multiple days. You drive 6 to 8 hours a day. There's ferry crossings. Man, that's a road trip. That is a road trip. That's like a week. I mean, that would be like a week-long road trip. Dude, that sounds like an awesome road trip. This reminds me, I don't know how many of you have ever watched when Ewan McGregor and his buddy did that motorcycle adventure. They've done multiple ones, but the first one, Long Way Around, I think is what it was called. I have always loved road trips, and I would love to do another European road trip. I would love to do another road trip with my wife. We haven't, yeah. It's not on the cards right now, but we had a lot of fun when we did that for work. And I'm looking at this map right now. Like, Shiny says we set off Sunday afternoon and arrived Thursday a.m. Yeah, that sounds about right. Arriving in Malta by ferry was magical. It's got me jonesing for a road trip now. I'm looking at this map going, that would be fun. And the cool thing is I'm getting big enough now with this channel. I could probably find a way to get sponsors and go do that. And somehow tie it into gaming. Find like a game studio along the way and we're going to do a road trip to the game studio. I'm telling you, anything is possible. Power of the internet. Oh, I'm falling through the stairs. That has got to be a connection issue. There it goes.
He crawled in, barely alive. He says,
Malta is a cool place, home of the Templar Knights.
They butcher the horror. Faith's torch. Their camp in 7 stones.
Their camp in 7 stones. Tenets of depravity. Dude, there is nothing near there. Set off from Sunderland to Dover. Man, I just want to go look at cool pictures now of road trips. Screw the game. Let's go look at road trip pictures. I'm not gonna lie, Vanessa's whole thing about doing the van life, when we were having that van life conversation the other day, it got me jonesing for when Chris and I were thinking about van stuff, and then it just got me thinking recently about a Pacific Northwest road trip. What I really want to do is I want to go. I'm gonna see about. I might go to the Fallout Fan Fest this year. We'll see. The problem is I got to get my passport renewed in like August, and I think they normally do the Fan Fest. Fuck, when did they do the Fallout Fan Fest? Let's see here. Pete Hines is going to be there this year. November 13th through 15th. Yeah, so, if my passport renewal gets done in August quick enough, I might go to the Fallout Fan Fest this year and meet up with Bubbleonia and his crew. Because they go almost every year. I almost went this past year, but we had our grandniece, and that's the kicker. Is like I don't want to leave my wife alone with no help. Oh, somebody just picked up a grown-ass man playing video games shirt from the merch store. Thanks for that. That's exactly what I'm thinking, Shiny. We got a vlog. I had more people watching the behind-the-scenes vlog stuff that I was doing when I was on my way to Bethesda than I thought. Because I was just posting updates from, like, the airport and from the hotel and stuff. And every single one of those updates got tens of thousands of views. And I was like, that's surprising. I was not expecting that sort of, like, interest in the whole, you know, because usually I have built this channel around me playing games and reviewing games and everything else. This is not a IRL channel. I was genuinely surprised by how many people were like watching the IRL stuff, which probably goes to show you why so many streamers do the IRL thing, because I guess it is. You know, it wasn't a thing when Chris and I were like, you couldn't stream like that back in the day when we were traveling. But we always did, like behind the scenes footage of what we were doing. Just us walking around towns and stuff. Like the whole thing we did in Spain was resident bloggers in Costa Brava. It was 3 months. And that's literally what they brought us in to do. They were like, you just document everything. Just film everything. Film going to the supermarket, film going to the beach, film going to whatever you're doing, just film it. And it was like, I really wish live streaming would have been available then, because that would have been a way cooler experience than just filming it and posting it after the fact. You all wanted to know what sort of fuckery I was up to. I'll be right back, everybody. Oh, I bet the food in Malta is amazing, Heinrich. Yeah, I bet it is. No, I don't give a shit about the World Cup finals. But I do have an interesting story, Shiny. I was in Bogota, Colombia when the World Cup finals were taking place in 2011. And I had never been, I didn't go to the match, but the apartment I was renting, I remember I was in the kitchen cooking. And the shouting from the arena was so loud that the windows of the apartment were vibrating and rattling in their frames, and the door of the apartment was vibrating on the hinges. That's how many people were at the match in Bogota, Colombia. The stadium roaring to the winds, and the vibrations of those, tens of thousands of voices just going out in shockwaves around the city and like causing the windows and the doors to vibrate in the apartment I was in. It was wild, dude. I was like, holy shit. I think, yeah, especially if you come from Europe. So Chris, when Chris went to the U.S. for the first time, I can also say this: my previous partner was from Bulgaria. Bulgaria is a very small country, so I can say I have had two partners who have come from countries outside of the U.S. and both of those individuals, when they went to the U.S. for the first time, it was definitely culture shock because of the size. Because pretty much every other country in the world has a rail system, like a really good train system, like a really good rail system, a really good metro system, a really good way for people to get around that does not require vehicles because everything is connected. A lot of this has to do with infrastructure that has been built up over thousands of years of time, whereas the United States only has a couple few hundred years of history. But it also has to deal with, not to get too deep into the political side of things, but the petroleum aspect of the U.S. Keeps people dependent on vehicles as opposed to railways. There's a whole, you could dive into it where it's like the whole system would collapse if we didn't have highways, insurance companies, vehicles, and everything related to that system, which is all based around petroleum. And the culture shock for Chris and my previous partner from Bulgaria when they came to the US for the first time was, how do people get around? And it's like, well, they have cars. And it's like, everyone has a car? And it's like, well, unless you live in an extremely big city like New York or San Francisco or Chicago or something, you're going to have a car to get around. Because the public transportation system sucks. It's almost non-existent. You are expected to drive. And like in Mexico, as an example, and I can speak to Eastern Europe, all the European countries I've traveled to, trains and buses tend to be pretty comfortable. They've got air conditioning. They're pretty clean. All this other stuff. And then you get to the United States, and you go get on a Greyhound bus, and it's like you're sitting on a bus with a bunch of heroin junkies and people with questionable ID badges, and you're like, holy shit, am I going to get stabbed going to the bathroom at the bus stop? Like, I've taken Greyhound, by the way, back in the day, and I was terrified. Like, I was like 18 or 19. I took a Greyhound from Colorado to Missouri, from Denver, Colorado to Springfield, Missouri. And I remember my grandma came and picked me up at the bus station in Springfield, Missouri at like 7 o'clock at night. And there were like junkies outside of the bus station, like sleeping underneath the... It was gnarly, dude. It was not cool. And then every other place I've ever been, clean public transportation, great train systems, great bus systems, everything, you know, it's middle class people. That's how they get around, because there's not the dependence upon vehicles. So even in like the UK as an example, or let's just say Europe as a whole, because Europe is a big country, collection of countries, sorry. Eurail as a collection of, you know, Eurail is the train system that services pretty much all of Europe. That is an extremely efficient, reasonably affordable, and fast way to get around that does not rely upon airplanes. And you can go from London to Milan by train and get there reasonably efficient. You know, it's reasonably efficient, it's clean, you've got first class train service, you get food, Wi-Fi, sleeper cabins if you want. Like, you're not getting that in the US. There are no, like, there are trains, but it's not the same. Like, it's really hard. Like, no one's going from New York City to San Francisco by train. Like, that just doesn't, it's not a thing that really happens. There are ways that you can make it happen, but it's not commonplace. Because everything is based upon needing cars, and there's huge distances between everything. And I remember Chris in particular, because we flew into the St. Louis airport to go visit my family, who at the time were living in Kabul, which is about 3 hours away. It's about 3 hours away from the St. Louis airport in Missouri. So my brother had to drive 3 hours to pick us up, and then drive 3 hours back to take us to the family ranch. And that was the first time Chris went. She was like, "This is nuts. Like, it's just empty space. Like, yeah, you have towns in between, but it's like cars everywhere. Like, everybody has vehicles." Yeah, Amtrak. I think Amtrak is the only train that exists in the U.S., and it's not an efficient train system. And they don't want it to be an efficient train system because they want you to buy a car, because it's the petroleum thing. It is a very big country, correct. Canada is also very big. No, trains are not a big thing. You can take trains, Shiny, but like you have to go out of your way to figure out how to use the train system in the U.S. It's not intuitive. I remember when I was in Barcelona, as an example, Costa Brava is one of the most efficient portions of Europe I've ever been to. Barcelona is at the heart of Costa Brava region in Spain. This is part of Catalonia, which is Spain, but it's also not Spain. It's a weird thing. But when we were in Barcelona, like, you could buy a pass, right? And that pass gives you access to everything in the city. Train, metro, bus. There was another one. I forget what it was. And everything ran on the same website. And at the time, you could also, it was a very early stage of the app. I'm sure the app is much better because this is 10 years ago. But everything was tracked down to the minute. You could go onto the website and just see everything was efficient. The city was spotlessly clean. They had, like, on every street corner was a defibrillator device. So if someone had a heart attack, like, in public, you could drag them over to the defibrillator device and someone could use the defibrillator. And they're right there on the street corners. Like, extremely efficient, public services everywhere, super clean, public transportation out the wazoo. And like anywhere you want to get in Costa Brava, you can literally have this pass and you can walk into any train station, bus station, and whatever, and just boop, get on a transport and go to the next town, the next village, 3 cities over. Like, it's all Barcelona. I could totally speak in a Spanish accent if I need to. You just have to, your C's become TH's. Barcelona, Barcelona. Correct. The trains, and that's the thing. Like Europe and many other countries have had a long time to develop train systems, and the train system in the U.S. was mostly ever only designed for like transportation of goods, not necessarily transportation to for people. DJ says it's easier for us to get a train to London than drive. It's a nightmare. Congestion is a big thing in the UK for driving too. But yeah, trains and planes, trains, and automobiles. You guys have got me talking, and now I'm going to talk all morning. A central pass for multiple transport types was awesome. Thanks for the Twitch renewal, TFDRP. 6 months in a row over on Twitch. Congestion is a major issue in every major U.S. city as well. Like, if you try driving around in New York City, San Francisco, Austin, Texas, Dallas, Texas, Denver, Colorado, you're going to spend all your time in traffic. You're going to spend all your time looking to park. I remember when I was in Colombia, there was such a huge, and it may have changed, but this is back in 2011, there was a 60%, 60% import tariff on any vehicle developed outside of Colombia. And there's like no Colombian car manufacturers. So to own a vehicle in Colombia, you have to be, or at the time anyway, you had to be exceptionally wealthy. And so everyone uses public transportation because only actors and musicians and business owners, like only rich people get to own a vehicle in Colombia because it costs so much money to buy them because of the import tariffs. And so when I was in Colombia, it was an eye-opening thing to me because you have upper middle class people who would traditionally be driving around in their Tesla. They're on the bus. They're on the train. They're in the subway, you know, they're getting a taxi because that's how people get around, even if they're upper middle class. And that's not something you see everywhere. So, yeah, both of my partners who have come to the U.S. for the very first time, it was always like, oh my God, this place is huge. There's so much empty space. How do people get around? Everybody owns a car. Like, my Bulgarian girlfriend was going to university in this small town that we lived in called Greeley, Colorado. And there was a couple of universities there. And I was at work, so I had the truck. So she would walk. And the thing was, like, so it was an hour walk to the school that she was going to from where we were living. And she would walk because the bus, the only bus system that town had, because again, public transportation sucks unless you're in a major city. The only bus system in that little town ran on a 45-minute, every 45 minutes was a bus. And it was never on time, and the 45-minute was in between the time that she needed to be at class. And there were also, this is pre-Uber, this is before the days of Uber and stuff. Taxis were extremely expensive and not an affordable means of daily transport to and from school. So since she couldn't take the bus to go to school, she walked to school every day and then walked home. So she had a 2-hour transit every single day where she walked there and back, there and back, there and back. Because the transport sucked so bad in that town. It's crazy. Most people do commute in New York because of congestion, and they actually have a public transportation system. It's one of the few cities in the U.S. that has public transportation. We get a lot of people ask me why we don't have... I have not owned a vehicle since 2007. I sold my truck in 2007. I have not owned a vehicle since then. And they're like, how is it possible that you haven't And I'm like, why do I need a vehicle? I have lived in Sofia, Bulgaria, Bogota, Colombia, Cancun, Mexico, Mexico City. All of the places I have lived and traveled to for work have been major metropolitan cities in Latin America or Europe, which have great public transportation systems. I don't need a car. I haven't needed a car for however many, it's been 20 years I haven't needed a vehicle. I don't need one because any place I've ever lived or traveled to has a great rail system, a great metro system. You can rent bikes, you can walk everywhere. Like I haven't needed a car in 20 years, and that is a home of Montfort beef. It's one of the biggest feedlots in the U.S. And trust me, Greeley, Colorado stinks to high heaven in summertime. I lived there for a long time. But the public transportation thing is, for me, it's just been like, we're just now to the point where we've been talking about getting a car for a couple of years. We don't need one. We would like to have one for the convenience of, like, you know, we're watching our grandniece now. Sometimes it's easier, you know, but like, here's the thing. Even in this podunk little town where I live in a small town where our homestead is. Our homestead is in a small town of 30,000 people in the middle of nowhere, down on the border of Guatemala and Mexico, right? Even this tiny ass town, from 6 a.m. till 6 p.m., I have taxis and I have what we call ponchimobiles, which are little tuk-tuk type things. Many people know them by tuk-tuks. They're little three-wheel things, like that have a cab on them. It's like a little mini taxi. From 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., the taxi service runs. I can literally walk out my front door, stand on the street corner, and within 3 to 5 minutes, one of those will come by, and I can hail a taxi, and I can go wherever I need to go. But I pretty much walk everywhere because it's 30 minutes to the supermarket, so it's nice cardio. I walk there, I walk back. I'm at the river in 20 minutes, so I walk down to the river pretty much every day, do a run or whatever, take just a long walk. But it's like 20 minutes there and back. It's 40 minutes, you know. It's the craziest thing to me because this town, this tiny little podunk town where I live, I can get a taxi at whenever I want. Just walk out the front door. I can't do that in like a lot of rural, like if I was in a rural town of 30,000 in the United States, there would not be taxi drivers just driving by the street. It wouldn't happen. There would be a phone number I would have to call to get a taxi to come to me, and they would charge me an arm and a leg. Here, I can walk out of the street corner, and it is 50 cents. It's 50 cents per person to take the tuk-tuk, and the taxi is $1.50 for whatever. One person, two person, doesn't matter. It's $1.50. So, and then like when Chris needs to take our grandniece to the next town over, there is the vans, which run every hour, on the hour. She can also just get in a shared taxi, which they just sit there and wait, and as soon as there's 4 people, they're ready to go, they go. So the taxi might be every 5 to 10 minutes, but they run taxis all day from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. And then anytime that we need to go to the city or something, I have a bus stop where there's a bus that I can just get on a bus. The buses run about every hour throughout the day, from about 5 a.m. until about 8 p.m. And then in between that are the vans that I can get, which are like little 15, 20-seater vans that you can just hop in and they go everywhere. So it's like, I still, even living in the middle of nowhere, do not need a vehicle. The only thing a vehicle would do for us is it would add convenience to our lives. Instead of needing to wait 3 to 5 minutes in the 110-degree heat for a taxi to pass by, we would have a car that we could jump in with air conditioning and rapidly get, you know, we would save 5 minutes of wait time to get where we need to go. But on top of that, suddenly you have maintenance costs, you have brakes, you have tire wear and tear, oil changes, insurance costs. Even if you buy the car cash, you've got all these maintenance costs with the vehicle. It's just like, I don't know. We're still not sure if we're going to buy one. Shiny says Dr. Stephen Greer tells us we're all being played by Big Petro. Oh, 100%. 100%. Sky says if I had no car in the U.S., I would at least get trainers with the switch out wheels. Vanessa says where I lived before I started van life, everything was including my job was right next to my house. I only used the vehicle for grocery shopping. Yeah, they sell not only electric scooters here, they've also started, there's a little shop downtown that sells golf carts, and they've got these new little three-wheel mini golf carts that our neighbors, there's 2 neighbors who have one. I don't know what they cost, but they're little three-wheel electric golf cart things that you can get. There's also like little mini cars that you can get if you want to drive around in those too. Gray's like, I'm over here. Yeah, Gray drives a lot every day, all day.
Cunin, you're back.
I'm not sure what we'll end up buying if we buy. I'm really torn because, like, as I've gotten older, the last thing I want to do is deal with maintenance on a vehicle. So buying used is just sort of a thing where I'm just like, ugh, I don't know that I want to buy used. I kind of have this thing in the back of my mind where I wouldn't mind just buying something brand new with a, 5-year warranty or whatever, and then just buy something that I know I'm going to take care of and that'll last for the rest of my life, because I really don't want to buy a $10,000 thing that, I'll get 10 years out of it. But I'll have to, change things out every few, I'll have to spend 10 grand and put 5 into it, to get it reasonably working. I'm just like, I would rather just, but buying new is so fucking expensive. But I really like the, they don't sell them in the US. They're called, it's Suzuki sells them. They're called a Jimny. I think it's a Jimny, right? Suzuki Jimny? I gotta look this up now. Yeah, it's Jimny. Jimny. They don't sell them in the US. Correct, I just started this Paladin like 2 months ago, whenever I pre-ordered. Anyway, Chris and I have been looking at these Jimnys, like the 3-door version, not the 5-door version. It's kind of like a Jeep. Yeah, it's kind of like a Jeep. But it's the Suzuki version. And we've looked at those. Because they got these cute little, like 3-door versions, which would be perfect for the 2 of us. Put a dog in the back, put your cats in the back, whatever you're good to go. They're 4x4. And they cost brand new. Like, what is that? I'm gonna go do the math really quick. Like, brand new. Brand new, they're about $28,000 with all the options. So there's the budget version that's like 25 grand, and then there's the brand new version is like 28,000. So if I wanted to get one, brand new, get insurance, get all the fixins. It's probably like 30 grand cash. And it's like, I think if I were to buy brand new, I would do something like that. I really like the Ford Ranger diesels that they sell here, which also you can't get in the U.S. But it's a diesel version of the Ford Ranger, and they're really nice. But holy shit, those things are like 70 grand. It's like I'm not spending 70 grand on a vehicle. I don't even want to spend 30 grand. It's like, so it's like we're still, it's like, yeah, we don't need it that bad. It's just a thing I look at once every 6 months. And go, man, if YouTube keeps doing really well, that might be something we buy after we've finished our properties and have built the house we want to build, and then it's the last thing we do is go, okay, let's get a car, let's get a vehicle, and then that'll be the last purchase, and then we just settle in for, you know, the last 20-30 years, take care of the vehicle, wind down the clock. Yeah, the VW things, the VW wagons look pretty cool too. What the hell am I looking for? It?
I would speak with you, Wanderer.
What's going on here?
The knights here suffer from a horrible vice. They call it the sacrament. Many seek confinement when their control slips.
Yep, I'm absolutely going to be doing AC
Imprisoned
Black
for
Flag.
speaking out against the practice.
It's as I said, Dimitri. You've turned your
In
back
theory,
on
it would
your
be
brethren.
cheaper to do the diesel
Captain
swap.
Karl commanded
No,
that
I
all
don't. I'm
share in the
not.
sacrament,
No,
or
I'm not
care
doing
for
that.
those who do, as their minds are gloriously reshaped.
Release me, or I tear your heart out!
Your time is coming, brother. I've recorded your name for Kara. You are to be his anointed. You shall find this Neyrelle and the prize she carries.
Your life is mine!
Yeah, I think that's plenty of Tark. Like, that's all you need. Like, I have debated. I haven't done it yet. I haven't on this channel. I have not shown off The Office, right? I have done a couple of member videos for our channel members where I'll show off a little bit of The Office, but like I've not shown the interior of our house to anybody for a while. You can get glimpses of it when we're on the Homestead channel because there will be things where we will share glimpses. But the reason, so this will be an interesting story because Atark just said something very, very important. Don't try to compare your life to other people's. That's what makes many people miserable. And he was saying something about living in a small town. Everything can be delivered now. Everything's in walking distance. I run my car as little as I can get away with, which is like a few times a week. So when I first moved here, we couldn't get Amazon because there wasn't even a physical address tied to this location. I had to literally, Chris and I had to go to the city. This house had been here for 20 years and it had never been assigned a physical address. Even the hospital in our town has no street address. The hospital literally just says this street S/N, which means without number, sin numero. So it's the hospital in this town, on this street, sin numero. It doesn't have a number. So our place literally was corner of here and here, no number. Like that's when I had to go to register my move with immigration. I had to take them a light bill to prove my location, the utility bill, and that's literally on the utility bill. Corner of here and here, and I'm like 3 doors down from the actual corner. We had to go to the city and petition to get a physical address, and it took almost a year before I could get Amazon deliveries to this location because I didn't have a physical address. And even then, there wasn't a Google car. The Google car hadn't come by our street, and so there wasn't a building on Google Maps. So I just had a GPS point that I put down with the address, and that's okay for like Amazon delivery drivers. But DHL, I have never been able to get DHL. To this day, DHL will not deliver to my location because those assholes don't use GPS. And so the drivers will often get confused because they're coming in from the city and they can't, because we're on a side street, not on the main street. And they're looking for our address on the main street and we're on a side street. They never find the place. So I try really hard, but sometimes you can't control if someone's, so when I order through Amazon, I have to order, it has to say shipped by Amazon. I don't care who it's sold by, but it has to say shipped by Amazon, because the Amazon logistics people will actually use GPS to find your location. And they will often call too. They'll call my phone. So here, interesting thing. I'm going to show you guys something really quick, right? So I don't show off I do on the homestead, but I don't show it off entirely. Why? Because too many people have a stick up their ass with what you're supposed to have, what it's supposed to be, what you're supposed to strive for, what you're supposed to want in life, what you're supposed to spend your money on. So I will get people who are idiots, the trolls in chat, who will make fun of, you've only got 10 viewers, there's no way I'm making money. And they'll say things like, you're living in a third world country. I'm not. I'm not living in a third world country. The fact that you think that shows how mentally backwards your thinking is. But the reason I don't share a lot of things around here is because we live in a home that we have not put a lot of love and care into since we bought it. We have upgraded many things, but we have yet to paint the house, and we've been here 4 years. So if you look at like my wall here, I'm going to turn the camera around. Here's the door to the office, right? And on that door, you see that? That's just a concrete block wall right there. Paint's peeling off. That's the light switch. I don't have a light fixture. That's just a light hanging from a socket. Right? And if you show those types of things to the uneducated, they will go, oh my God, you're living in squalor. No. The reality is I have air conditioning. I have 2 high-speed internet connections. I have the PS5 Pro. I have an Xbox Series X. I have 2 monitors. I have 2 gaming laptops. I have a 50-inch flat screen over there. I have a bunch of camera gear under the desk. I did take my drone. My drone's at my brother's place because he's using it for the ranch. But Chris and I, this is a little insight for some of you. And I have a video on this on the Homestead channel. I bought this place with my wife for $10,000 cash. Cash money. Paid for it in cash. Bought this place. We then spent about another $10,000 cash to furnish it with the refrigerator and beds and the wood tables that I have for the desk, and the cost of the move and buying all the furniture and everything else was like another $10,000 cash. The other property that we just bought in the woods was less than $10,000 cash. To buy the property and do all the registrations. And we are now getting ready to look at buying something a little bit bigger, and we're saving up towards building a home, like our forever home. So I make a few $1,000s per month. If you're a channel member here, you know how much I make because we share that in the channel member video. It's a few thousand, a few to several. Our cost of living is like $800 a month, but we make a few $1,000s a month. So I pay my taxes, I pay my cost of living, and then everything else goes into the savings. Everything. And what do we do with that? Well, we save it. And then we do things like we spent $1,500 to put a new roof on this place in January. We spent like $1,000 a couple years back to put the patio roof on and build the catio. So all these things, you know, I've spent probably, off the top of my head, I've spent $30,000 cash to buy all this stuff, right? Somewhere in that range, like 30 grand cash. And we still have, not to get into finances, but you know, we're doing pretty well. We have 2 different nest eggs. We have our retirement nest egg, and then we have our property investment nest egg. And it's like, but I don't show people this kind of stuff because some people will look at those, like the unpainted walls, and be like, you're living in squalor. And it's like, not really, you know, it's just we chose not to paint the walls. But here's the other one. I don't have a water heater. And people would be like, what? You don't have a water heater? So yeah, I don't need one. Because where I live, it is a tropical environment. And it is 95 degrees most of the year. It'll get down into the 80s, you know, and 70s during like December. So when I take a shower, it's a lukewarm shower, and it feels great because it's hot outside. I go for a walk at 6 o'clock at night, and it's, you know, 100 degrees outside. I come home, I'm dripping sweat. It's like jumping into the pool, man. I get a nice, cool, refreshing shower, and I'm done for the day. Correct. Plain does not equal squalor. So I have shown this on the homestead. Our shelves right outside of here, all of the kitchen shelving that we have. Chris finally bought some metal ones because she wanted some nice ones for like for some of the appliances. But like all of our pantry stuff, my wife built those because she doesn't want to spend money on shit from like Amazon or something. So like, you can call it being cheap, you can call it being frugal. We're older. We are very much in the part of our lives where we are worried about making sure that we are shored up for the rest of our lives, because neither one of us trusts the government to give us pensions. So we are very much making sure that our 60s and 70s and 80s and potentially 90s, we are taken care of. So she went to the local paint store and bought wooden dowel sticks and got milk crates, plastic milk crates from one of the fruit vendors, and she built her own cabinets using milk crate wired to the sticks, 4 sticks going up 6 feet, and she has 4 different milk crates stacked up, and those are her pantries, because she didn't want to spend money on pantries. She wanted to build her own pantries, and she built those for like $15. And if she would have bought them, she would have spent $500 to buy, you know, shelving units and pantry units and cabinets and shit. She built them for like $15 because she would rather spend those $500 on going towards another investment property. And I joke with people, it's like in the wintertime for us, because I don't have a water heater, in like December it'll get cool. What do? I heat water up. I have a bucket heater like I used to use in construction. And I have a 5-gallon bucket. And I heat my water up in a 5-gallon bucket. And then I dip a container in it. And I bathe myself like I'm at a campsite. And you'll get people who see that shit and they're like, oh my god, you're living in poverty. And I'm like, I don't give a shit. I'm clean. It's only like 2-3 weeks out of the year that I need hot water. The rest of the time, I'm just taking a normal shower. And I'm not spending 60 years of my fucking life being enslaved to a mortgage that's costing me $1,200. Not even 12. I think mortgages, I don't know why I said 1,200. Mortgages these days are more like $2,500, $3,000 a month. for a house you're never going to own. You don't own your fucking house if you have a mortgage, you dumbass. The bank owns your house. You have a car payment, the bank owns your car. You don't fucking own shit with a mortgage. That's borrowed money, bitch. Try breaking your leg in a ski accident and not being able to go to work and you miss a payment or two, you're going to find out real fucking quick that you don't own shit. Meanwhile, my stuff is paid off in cash, in full. No credit card debt, no car payments, no school payments, none of that shit. And I'll get people who will make fun of, like, they'll see it, they'll go to my Homestead channel and they'll, like, make fun of the fact that we have dirt out our back, you know, out in the back, and chickens and ducks running around, and, you know, mosquitoes and cats, and oh my god, you're living in dirt and poverty. And no, you're so wrong. I have fresh eggs every single day, chicken eggs, duck eggs. Chris butchers our own chickens, we have fresh meat every single month. I live a very simple life with my wife. I get to do what I love. TFDRP says last payment on the house was the largest load lifted off the shoulders. Oh, I tell you, man, like, it is the most freeing thing in the world. It's something my dad, for example, he can't fathom my life. He can't fathom. Because my dad is very much, you know, I'm worth millions. I have millions of dollars of assets, and that's the value of a man, is how many millions of dollars of assets. And I'm like, you've been crippled since you were 40. You're constantly in debt. You're robbing from Peter to pay Paul. Yes, you have a bunch of assets, but you're constantly, like, borrowing against those assets to pay bills, to get more cows, to pay off your tractor, to pay off the land, to borrow against this, to pay off that. I was like, you are a slave to the system. Yes, you have assets on paper, but you can't liquidate those assets because you have so much debt to the bank against those assets. You can't take it with you when you die, right? And unless you have kids to hand it off to, what's the point? Right. So, I spent my 30s traveling. So I've already done all the traveling. Most people, you know, a lot of people will wait until they're 65 and their house is paid off and they're on retirement pension. And then by then you're too old to fucking enjoy it. You're worried about your heart conditions. You're worried about your arthritis. You're worried about deep vein thrombosis, your high cholesterol. You can't walk down a flight of fucking stairs. Like, I went and traveled in my 20s and 30s and did that for a living and had a great time. And in our 40s was when we decided to settle down, buy the house, get the animals. Yes, Semper, you have no equity if the bank is the one carrying the note. Anyway, random rant this morning because, you know, like, I would love to, like, you know, just this green screen, like, it's just paint falling off. That's a concrete block wall. And a lot of people will look at that and just make stupid judgment calls and say stupid things. And it's like, your brain is so fucking wired into the Matrix that you can't fathom how the rest of the world lives. I have clean drinking water, high-speed internet connections, air conditioning. I have free health care. The hospital is 10 minutes away from my house by taxi. 30, 40 minutes if I walk. You know. Chris and I have everything we want. And I am allowed to sit here and do this, which is something I love and I would be doing anyway. And I get to monetize it. It has grown into something where it's making a fairly decent amount of money, which has allowed us to do some really cool shit over the past few years. And knock on wood, if everything keeps growing and everything's... And again, this could all go away tomorrow. I would be okay. But, you know, we still have things we're working towards. Like, the big thing for us is we want to be able to have a nice enough a big enough plot of land that we could have a decent-sized garden, have a couple of cows, a couple of pigs, some goats and sheep running around, and have it all be enclosed, and let our cats be able to roam free. Because the plot of land we have is very tiny, but it works, and it's paid for. And yeah, the rest of the house is not air conditioned. It's not. And I've got people like, well, why won't you air condition the rest of the house? And it's like, because to do that, I would suddenly, we're not in the rest of the house most of the day. Like, Chris is usually outside working because that's where she likes to be. She likes to be outside with her animals. So air conditioning the whole house, what's the point? Central air is the biggest waste of fucking money, efficiency, and energy ever. You're air conditioning rooms of a home that you never go into. What the fuck is wrong with you? Are you stupid? You're stupid. That's literally what it is. You're stupid. You're heating and cooling rooms in a house that you never go into. Like, who goes into the basement? No one. Yes, many splits, which is what the vast majority of the civilized world uses. Only in the US is it like, we're gonna do central air for everything, central air and heating. And then people have these thousands of dollars utility bills, and it's like, I have a mini split in my office. I turn it on when I'm in here, I turn it off when I'm not in here. This is a great conversation this morning, by the way, guys. I feel like a lot of people are just so wrapped up in what the Joneses have, and I gotta have a new iPhone, and I need to get the Tesla, and I gotta have this, that, or the other. And it's like, I watched my brother unalive himself. Not physically watched it, but my brother unalived himself because he was 30 years old with like $600,000 worth of debt between 2 house mortgages, a BMW payment, back taxes, and everything else. And it's like, that's no way to live, man. Like, van life is great. Buying a homestead is great. So here's the other one. I don't know if many of you guys know this. If you haven't ever looked him up before, his name's Nate Petrowski. He runs a homestead channel. He looks like a dirty hillbilly, and he kind of is. But I've been following this guy since before he became famous on TikTok. And he literally bought. You know who Nate is, lady? Yeah, this is a great example. He bought like a 100-acre piece of property in West Virginia, moved out there with this little mobile home. He has a Twitch channel, he has YouTube, he has everything. And he runs like 24/7 streams for all his animals these days. He has grown his channel into a multi-million-dollar industry, into an enterprise. He's making very good money. But he started off with nothing. And he did it by moving onto this 100-acre piece of property, building solar, putting up solar panels, shitting in an outhouse, okay, and living out of a little rundown mobile camper that was leaking, no air conditioning, he lived like a fucking dirt hippie in the woods for like the first 2 years, building up his channels and building up his homestead. Now he's got millions of followers. He has paid cash for all of his vehicles. He's got like a brand new Dodge Ram pickup truck. He built the first piece of property, and he showed off like last week the little room that he lives in with his partner. And it is a little 600 square foot, it's a corner of the building, right? And it's a little 600 square foot living space, and that's where they live. And it's the bed, the wood stove, a little kitchenette, the shower and the shitter are right there in the corner. It's all within the same thing. And people will look at that and they will say, you're living in poverty because you're living in this little 600 square foot. Like, you read the comments section and people are judging him because he has all this money and he's choosing to live in a 600 square foot space. And he's like, I don't need more than 600 square feet of space. And my money goes towards the build. He's working towards building the big forever home on the property. And he's been working towards that over the past like 7-8 years on social media. But to the outsider who looks at that, they're like, they see a long-haired dude with a long stringy beard and hair, and they're like, you're a dirty hippie hillbilly. But he's making tens of thousands of dollars per month. He's paid for everything in cash. He also bought additional property down the road. And while living in the little 600 square foot thing, he saves up money to build the big dream home. I don't document that stuff all the time over on our Homestead channel. I could, if I wanted to be like Nate Petrowski, I could do that and document that whole journey over on the Homestead channel. We don't. Because I prefer to do this to make money. I like playing games and sharing my love of like TV shows and movies and stuff like that. But that's essentially what Chris and I are doing. We're living in a tiny place that we paid cash for. And we're okay with that because we have everything we need. We have unlimited health care, a hospital in town, 2 grocery stores that we can walk to. We have her family 10 minutes down the road. More like 20 minutes down the road. Her whole family's here. We're watching our grannies Monday through Friday. We have all the animals that she's ever wanted. She still wants goats and chickens and pigs, but we need a bigger property for that. And then we save up for the forever home. And we just bought one property last year. We're going to buy another property at the end of this year. Yeah, Nate's pretty cool, Susan. It's grown very much. Samurai says our mortgage is paid off, kids are grown, empty nest, but we will still have property taxes. That's a good thing. Like, our property taxes are next to nothing here, and the utility's not too bad. Water bill, not too bad. We don't have metered water where we live. We just pay a flat fee every year, and we have unlimited water usage. Now that might change at some point, but yeah, we don't have a water. It's like there's no meter. It's just you pay what we pay. I think it's like $150 or something for the whole year, and we have unlimited water. Thanks for Twitch sub, Reverend. Now the water does go out. Like, we didn't have water. I think we were supposed to not have water yesterday because they're always working on the water pumps and stuff. Yeah, van life is totally another. It's the same vein. Van life, homestead living. Now, these are all just alternative ways to do things and allow people to bootstrap. So my favorite moment was when I was pitching to raise millions of dollars of funding for the MMO, right? When I was pitching as the studio head, and we were living in Mexico City at the time, and occasionally you would come across these people who had such a backwards view of how things work. They would be like, where do you live? Oh, no. Yeah, no, no. We need you to be located in San Francisco. You need to be located in Austin, Texas. You need to be living in Montreal. You got to be in New York City. Like, if you want us to give you $500,000, you need to be living in a major metropolitan U.S. city and living like a CEO. That's literally what I got told a few times, was like, when you're pitching and these people expect you, they want you to live the life of a CEO to be the CEO. And it's like, I would much rather take that investment money and put it towards the developers who are building the game, not a $250,000 a year salary. Look at what's going down with the fucking Ashes of Creation lawsuit. Perfect example of a CEO. He spent, what the numbers came out the other day, the spreadsheets. It was like $220,000 on DoorDash in like a calendar year. And I looked at that and went, how the fuck do you spend $220,000 on DoorDash? Like, what the fuck? You know, and that's just somebody living the life of a CEO. I don't cook. I just fucking eat, or I order everything. Like, Atara says you don't fit our framework. We don't see how that could ever work. Limited thinking, I know, right? What's up, Allie? Draken says, I'd love to get a van, renovate it, having a child is tough. It can be tougher with a child. I know of people who do it, but it is tougher. I split my time between the U.S. and my homestead in Mexico. Oh shit, I forgot to give my cat his pill. We were talking about things. I'll be right back. That's what happens when you shoot the shit and you don't actually play the game. I'm okay with that. Just having a good time hanging out. He's not really here to play the game anyway. $20 for a large Coke, bacon burger, and fries from DoorDash with the tip. It racks up fast, man. Correct, Lady Atara. Everybody's ancestors like lived. I mean, it's a really backwards way of thinking. Jagger says it's like $30 for one person where I live. Yeah, if you can order it from the website directly, you can. I love that reference, Atara. Not enough people who know who the Sackets were, and it shows. That is a phenomenal book series, by the way. Also, a phenomenal fucking mini-series in the late 70s. That is one of my favorite ever. Tom Selleck, Sam Elliott. The Sackets is one of my favorite Western miniseries of all time. The Arkansas toothpick scene, the Spanish señorita who he falls in love with, the younger brother falls in love with. Just like that miniseries is so. But the books are really, really good. Coming over from Scotland and then the Appalachians, and it's such a good book series. I just love the reference. Not enough people know who the Sackets are, and it shows. Oh, God. Today's episodes of Yappin' with Renfail. Yeah, it's, Starlink works most places now, but you gotta think about this. Starlink really only became commercially available about 3 years ago. Because my brother finally got his about 3 years ago. Before that, it wasn't even available in like rural Missouri. He just got it about 3 years ago, but that's how they have internet. My sister-in-law works from home. It's like 40, 50 down, 30 up most days. The itchy feet syndrome. Yeah, you grew up on those books. And that's how your family history is. I think that's probably my favorite Louis L'Amour series. I also liked, he did a standalone novel called The Walking Drum, which I really liked. I remember reading that when I was in my mid-teens, I think, late teens. DoorDashing Cristal and caviar. Pinky out. My caviar and... Hang on, that's hard to hold my coffee cup that way. Can't really do that with this coffee cup. Pinky out, my friends. Ta-da! Caviar and Cristal. You know what shocked me on this trip that I just took? So all of my travel was paid for. But the cost of the Uber rides, I have the receipts from those because it went through my app, even though it was paid for. Holy shit! It was like 45. It was like a 40-minute ride from the airport to the hotel and back. We're talking DC area, right? $150. Like $150 like one way for a 40-minute ride in an Uber. And I was just like, holy shit. Like, I realize I'm a little disconnected from the costs of how expensive things are up there. But I was like, I'm not that old, and I can remember when a 40-minute taxi ride was like, $50, Yeah, $150, and that was without like surge pricing and stuff. I think the links are, yeah, I think there are drops today. I think from yesterday, maybe. It's probably why I have 50 people, 55 people sitting, 60 people, it says, sitting here listening to me talking. I'm not actually playing the game. Everybody's just sitting here getting their drops. I'm okay. I'm getting paid no matter what. It's ad revenue for me. Vanessa says Apple is going to start doing what Starlink does soon. It'll be interesting if they do.
Please, time is short. On that table is a report of what's happened here. You must take it to my superiors in Gayakur and tell them what you witnessed. They'll know what to do. The souls here, they can be saved. Light be with you.
All right. I haven't, like my phone, to be honest with you, I have one. I actually need to get a new one because this one's finally, it's about 4 years old. I've dropped it a bunch of times. Screen's cracked. Buttons don't work half the time. I barely use this thing, and you know what I really only use it for is, my two-factor authentication shit and like notifications for emails and stuff. I almost never make phone calls with this thing. Everything I do with my brother is WhatsApp, so all my communication with my brother is WhatsApp on a day-to-day basis. We do everything else just through Discord for our video calls to play. We play Lord of the Rings online with the family, so it's literally my brother, my sister-in-law, my nephew, and my niece. We all have PCs, and we all have Discord, and we all have headsets, and we jump in and we play games together on a group voice call. And then day-to-day with my brother is through WhatsApp. My wife and I use WhatsApp. My sister-in-law, WhatsApp. I can't, honestly, I can't tell you the last time I had to make a phone call on this thing. I probably, before we moved here, I haven't made a phone call on this thing in 4 years. The last time I actually called somebody on a phone number was probably when we were still living, like 6 years ago. And it was probably my lawyer. That's probably the last time I called anybody on a like actual phone number, was talking to my lawyer like 6-7 years ago. Like the idea of phone numbers, like I haven't been, like I tried to say this the other day and people were like, some people don't believe me. It's like I haven't done physical mail for 25 years. Haven't written a check in 25 years. Now, they say that's not possible. You have to have a physical address for real ID. You're not wrong. I do have a physical address for real ID. And I do get physical mail from official documented sources for the purposes of things like that. Like your credit card, that has to get sent to you. That has to get sent somewhere, right? To get a credit card in the mail, that has to be sent somewhere. We're not talking about that. I'm talking about I don't receive physical mail. I don't get anything from anybody, and I haven't for 20 years. All of my credit card statements, digital. All of my bank statements, digital. All of my utility bills, digital. For 25 years now, I haven't done any sort of physical. The only thing I get in the mail is when I need to renew a credit card, or if I have to do something official, like renew a driver's license, or, you know, those types of things. Those are the only documents I get through the mail. Passport renewals are all done through DHL because I'm always abroad when I do my passport renewals, and that's always done through DHL. You literally just send your shit to the embassy through DHL. They process it and they send it back to DHL, and you go pick it up. Like, I don't have to. And this place where we live now, not a single piece of physical mail. We don't even have a mailbox. Not only that, but the mail The mail here doesn't deliver door to door for homes. You have to go to the post office if somebody sends you something. So it's like they don't do like door to door delivery. It's like, who the fuck uses mail? Who the fuck sends like that's like so 25 years ago. Like email, bitch. Like email, Discord, Skype, WhatsApp, PDFs. DocuSign, like my accountant. I don't sign, like it's all DocuSign. It's all digital signatures. I don't have to get shit from my accountant. I get an email that says, hey man, we need you to sign this. And I go, okay. And I do DocuSign and I signed it and they're off to the races and I send them the money that they need for the services they render. Like, you don't have to get physical mail. Like, that's a choice you make. In 20 years, there will be no cell phone towers. Eventually, we'll stop using gasoline cars. Yeah, it's fascinating to think about where we'll be in 20 years' time. Because even in what was 20 years ago? 20 years ago was 2006, right? I did not have a smartphone in 2006. I did not have Facebook in 2006. I didn't have Twitter in 2006. I didn't have Instagram in 2006. And no social media. There was no social media in 26. When did Facebook even start? Facebook opened to the general public on September 26, 2006. So 2006 was when the public was available to start signing up for Facebook. Think about that for a minute. 20 years ago, not even, because we're not quite to September of 2026. My generation, we didn't have social media 20 years ago. We didn't have smartphones 20 years ago. Think about how far civilization has jumped in 20 years. 2006 to 2026. And you don't think that the next 20 years are going to advance even more quickly? Because now AI and other tech, and it just keeps going and going and going and going. Food for thought. Like, because, you know, YouTube has only been around, I'm making a living on YouTube. I wasn't making a living on YouTube. Even, so I did travel blogging up until full-time, up until the end of 2017, which is 10 years ago, 9 years ago. 9 years ago, we didn't have streaming services like we do today. And YouTube was only just really beginning to start pay revenue to people. Because before that, everybody made money through our blogs. We sold ad revenue through our blogs. So instead of making ad revenue off of YouTube videos and Twitch streams, I was making ad revenue on my website. And I sold ebooks. And I had an Airbnb property, and we had tour services and consulting services. And I was a public speaker going around the world. That's 10 years ago. I didn't transition to doing this until 4.5 years ago. I mean, just in the last 5 years, you know, if you think about it, I can remember giving a presentation. We were in Girona, Spain in 2015, I think. March of 2015, something like that. February or March of 2015. I was giving a presentation, and if I remember correctly, Amazon had just bought Twitch when I gave that presentation. That presentation is online. You can Google it and find it. Because in that presentation, I talked about the power of social media, the power of streaming, because streaming was starting to become a big thing. And Amazon had just bought Twitch. And people in the travel space weren't familiar with streaming. I was, because I played video games. And so I was familiar with streaming back around 2014, 2015. But it still wasn't a like 10 years ago, even 9 years ago, 10 years ago, 12 years ago, streaming was not a big deal like it is today. People like Carnage, who are 12 years into it, he was just getting going when I was giving my presentation in Girona, Spain, back in 2015, roughly, because he started 12, 13 years ago was when. I think he said 13. He had his 13-year anniversary on Twitch like last month, I think, for Carnage. So when I gave that presentation in Girona, Spain, and I talked about Amazon buying Twitch, Kick didn't exist, Rumble didn't exist, TikTok didn't exist. Think about that shit for a moment. How far we have come in 10 years, where we go from streaming just starting to go, and where people could start to think about maybe making a career by doing content creation online. Patreon was just starting to kick off back then, because that's when I started my Patreon account. Canva started offering services about that time, because I started using Canva. That's 10 years ago, 10, 12 years ago. Think of how far we've come in 10 years. Where the fuck are we going to be in the next 10 years? I don't fucking know. I'm sure, I am sure that there will be other platforms. Yeah, Kick is like 3 to 4 years old now, I think. Maybe. I have no idea what we're going to be at in 3 to 4 years. I have no idea where we're going to be in 3 to 4 years, let alone 10 years out. Am I still going to be on YouTube and Twitch? I don't know. There's probably going to be something else that comes along that is bigger and better and pays more money, and who knows? Like, we have no idea. YouTube might go away tomorrow and we all transition to virtual Ready Player One type streaming. I don't know. AI is a huge thing right now. We have no clue where that's going to take us as a society. Crazy times we live in.
Smell that? That's what a damn good time smells like, my friend.
You're not wrong, Veritas. I do smell like a damn good time. Kick is growing. Yeah. I have, obviously I have a Kick channel, but I've only been using it for a few months. It has like 350 followers on it. I'll be really interested to see what happens when and if that channel ever gets monetized. Because their advertising rates pay very well, but if you want to push people to Twitch, all the people who have done big on Twitch were already big like somewhere else and pushed all their followers over there when they would get like a week-long suspension on Twitch, like Asmongold. Yeah, he gets banned on Twitch, so he's like, fuck you, Twitch, and he goes and starts a Kick account, and because he has 10 million followers, he can go over to Kick and he'll immediately get 500,000 people who follow, and that's big money. Someone like me, I do have supporters on Kick, but it's not the same thing. Like, it'll be a while before I get monetized on Kick probably. But it's a great platform in its early stages. Like, they've only been doing it for a few years now, like 2 or 3 years, I think. So it's going to be interesting to see where that platform takes people, if they can continue to innovate and pay people and continue to gather steam. YouTube is definitely still the king of long-form content. I do not know where we're supposed to go here. Yeah, Kick is just now starting to get uncessed. The problem Kick has is it still has an issue with a lot of controversial talent are over there. And until they shed that reputation, it's a little bit of a struggle.
Knight, let this
because
one
they let a lot of really sus people on the platform very early on, and it's like Aiden Ross and Asmongold, and those were like the poster children for Clavicular. Those are like the poster children for Kick, and unfortunately, that's not a good look. And it used to, gambling. There's gambling stuff and everything else. So it's gonna be a while before that can. It'll be interesting to see where it goes over the next 2 to 3 years.
What a surprise it is to see you under these circumstances, bearing a scroll from my agent, no less. Karov was one of our most devout servants. It pained me to see him cast his lot with the Burned Knights.
Oh, I love it. Somebody on TikTok, I just saw it scroll past on the TikTok app.
When a calf becomes sickly,
You've never had
you cut it
supporters in
down
your
to
entire
prevent the
career.
spread
It's
of
all made up.
infection. Karov must too be cut
Yep.
down, so his maddened grip never lays
My
claim
entire
to
public
the
career
realm
on Google
or
is
the
100%
Soul
made
Stone.
up. I invented all of that. All the videos
Return
are
to
fake.
Dimitri at Fate's Torch. He will assist you in your task.
All my public presentations. All the companies I've worked with, it's all fake. Companies I've founded, it's all fake. None of it's real. That's right. You've won the internet, TikTok troll. It's all made up. That is way the hell out there. Nothing close-ish. This is close-ish. This is closer. Presenting from your bathtub or jacuzzi was popular at one time. Don't try it, Ren. I don't know, man. Somebody out there probably wants to see hairy old man boobs.
You there. Care to be a witness? It's an easy task.
I'm sure somebody out there wants to pay for it. Brings a whole new, yeah, we'll make the terminology, the Ren spread. Hey, for all the people who claim that, for the one dude out there who said that the white in my beard isn't from old age, it's Todd Howard's cum stains because I'm always choking on Bethesda's dick. You can head over to my OnlyRens. Check out the videos. Somebody out there will pay good money to see that. And I am happy to charge them for it. Alright, drive safe, Vanessa. Correct, Tarek. Correct. You're not wrong. I feel like that's someone who is going to end up going off the deep end in a public manner because of the radicalization of his audience.
Stop, please!
And what will end up happening is they will provoke them to do something unfortunate in a very public manner. And they'll have a very public crash out. Look at that World of T-Shirts kid who just is drinking himself to death. Doing it for the lulz because he literally is mentally ill, and the people who surround him want to be famous and they love the spotlight, and so they push him to do stupid stuff and basically you're watching somebody die in real time. You're watching somebody unalive themselves in real time in front of an audience, and they're happy to do it because it makes them feel worthy. It gives them self-worth, so they ignore the pain. And that's the internet in a nutshell.
I've noted your refusal to cooperate. Let your screams carry your soul to hell.
An interloper? Kill them!
Oh, the law finally caught up with him? I'm not aware. I haven't followed his stuff ever, but I was aware of the situation for like maybe about a year ago was the last time I paid attention to anything.
Find Marzan at the Seared Revelation camp. He knows the way. He took Karov.
But speaking of the clavicular situation too, like he literally just had that situation like a week ago. I saw it on the news where like he like OD'd in real time on a live stream. Like because they're being egged on by these viewers and kid's 20 years old and he's literally throwing his life away for what? For views on the internet? To be famous? Like, what is the point? You're 20 years old, like, but they've grown up with this mentality of like, I want to be an internet celebrity, I want to be famous, I've got millions of followers. This is, by the way, this is the when I get somebody in my chat who will say the stupid things about how there's no way you're making a real life full-time living with your 10 viewers on whatever platform they try to mention for the day. And I'm always like, man, you're one of those people. Your value, your self-worth is tied to how many followers somebody has on social media. And that is, goddamn. That is the most unfortunate, sad, just distorted view of reality that I can think of. Like, tying someone's value to how many views they get on social media or how many followers they have. It's just, that is the biggest cringe I can think of. But that's that generation. Like their entire self-worth is based upon how many followers you have. I think there's probably Black Mirror episodes about that type of shit too, right? Doak says he kept bonking people across America complaining about not getting deported to Italy, so the law scooped him up and he's off the booze and someone's watching him. The state and caretakers. That is good. I did not know that.
Oh, is that
good
so?
For him.
And just who might you... well, I recall you from Faith's Torch. Sadly, an audience with Karov isn't within my power. He found my writings not to his liking. Truth be told, he nearly had me killed over their contents. Maybe there is a way for you to speak with him, huh? Maybe you'll usher me back into his good graces.
That's right, just be a troll and hater, and you too could become a clip on Renfail's
see it now.
TikTok and Instagrams.
Karov doesn't suffer fools. He branded me with that wonderful slogan right here on my arm. If I'm going to take you to him, you must be worth it. No sense in risking my life just to end up as some petty battlement trophy. Clear the arena of these would-be warriors, and I'll take you to him.
All right, I am gonna wrap here, everybody. It is 8 o'clock. I'm gonna go. We're actually taking our grandniece to school this morning, and then I gotta go to this pharmacy and pick up supplies and try to stay healthy. Hopefully not get sick, knock on wood. Get some medicine for my wife so she gets better. I will be back this afternoon with some Starfield in the early afternoon, as always. No events today. I got to take it easy today. Like, I did 2 days back-to-back of, like, 10-hour streams, 10, 11-hour streams on, like, yesterday and the day before, and my eyes are tired today. And, I'm going to have a normal day today. We've done our 3.5 hours. I'm going to go away. We're going to come back in the afternoon and do 3 hours or so. And I'm going to take the rest of the day just rest and relax, run errands. And I will see everybody this afternoon Don't forget the Only Rins, where you can find all the private videos of why my beard is white. See you next time, everybody.